A beautiful warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and our dear esteemed viewers, to yet another exciting episode right here at Astute Strategists. Olivia Nakalembe is my name, and I'm your host for the day. I usually come by with these beautiful, amazing discussions with the one and only, our chief consultant. Yes, chief consultant right here at Astute Strategists, Mr. Timothy Mugerwa. Timothy, how are you doing?
I'm good, Olivia. How are you?
I'm amazing. You've really changed based on our last conversation and discussion that we had.
Yes, a lot has happened in between there. Yes.
But how is life generally?
Life is good.
Life is good.
good.
And how is Astute Strategists
Astute
doing?
Strategy is doing very well.
Okay.
We have a couple of events that we are planning in July on the 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, but we shall let the viewers know about them.
In the due course of this discussion.
Yes.
Today we are here to talk about something very interesting. I feel like it's an element that actually defines life, and that is purpose. We're sometimes clueless about life because we don't have particular direction for it. But yet again, we know that without direction, without purpose, it has kind of contributed to some of the bad statistics that we are seeing in terms of depression and anxiety, because someone forever questions, what is my purpose in life? Because it brings about life's satisfaction. Now, to hell with all the questions, because just like I told you in the beginning, we are hanging by with the one and only chief consultant, Timothy Mugerwa, right here at Astute Strategists, to break it all down for us. What is purpose? How do I get to discover my purpose? Now, the good news is that some of the products offered right here at Astute Strategists do get to answer this particular question. And I am talking about that product of coaching. The beauty about this product is that we do not begin from, like the top, bottom. No, it is a bottom-top approach. We are very, very present in schools. This particular product goes down in schools so that we teach the young generation, we teach the young leaders of tomorrow about discovering their purpose. I'm not going to be preempting this particular conversation, because why should I do it when I have team on standby right here? Mr. Mugerwa Timothy, the concept or the word purpose might seem bleak in some people's minds. Break it down for us. What is purpose?
Yeah, thank you, Olivia. And it's nice having you again.
I mean, it's
It's
always
always
a
a
pleasure.
pleasure. I also follow you. I learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
You're making a huge contribution to our society.
Thank you.
And thank you for this topic about purposeful life,
Sure.
or life with a purpose. However, like I always say, I don't like defining stuff for people.
Dictionary
Because,
definition.
Yeah, I don't believe in academic definitions. We need to just understand what this is all about.
Sure.
And I don't have a universal definition of that life, purposeful life. I don't have that. However, I always define it with a quote from Martin Luther. Martin Luther said, "A man who has not found what to die for is not fit to live."
A man who has not found what to die for is not fit to live. How does that resonate with you?
Yes. In other words, what he's saying, each of us must identify something that you feel like you should give all.
Yeah.
That you feel like I should sacrifice everything I have to ensure that I achieve this goal.
Sure.
Just like the freedom fighters, Nelson Mandela, he sacrificed all his life
I know.
to liberate South Africa.
To liberate South Africa. It was worth dying for.
Yes. It was worth-
27 years behind
Yes.
that.
It's the same thing what some of the mothers do. Like in Uganda, if you are to go in rural areas and find what mothers go through to raise their children,
True.
they find something that they have to give all for my child. So in the same sense, each of us must identify something that you feel like I have to give all. Look at musicians. Some of them sleep in studios to ensure they give the best music to
us.
Yes. So basically, that's the kind of sacrifice you must make, that each of us must find something you feel like, I have to give all to ensure that I achieve this. So basically, that's the kind of definition I can give so that people understand that they all have a challenge to identify something they feel like I must give all to ensure that I change my life or I impact somebody's life or my community.
You see, the beauty about being the host for this particular discussion is that I'm getting the information firsthand, and you'll forgive me, Mr. Mugera. I'm not even paying for this information.
I will change that sometime.
I'm not paying for this particular conversation. Now, we want to understand, how does someone now get to find purpose? Or what does purpose comprise of? Like, when someone is going out to pursue their purpose, what are some of the key things they have to put into consideration?
Yeah, I think we need to start with the factors that affect our personal development.
Surely.
All the factors that affect us living a purposeful life. And I have like 5 factors that I want to discuss with you, and that is school, family, society, religion. Basically,
School,
the 4.
family, society.
And religion. Yes. So can I break them?
Please, let's go one by one, because I need to understand where I went for school. Does it have anything to do with me finding my purpose?
It does.
And how
But
does it?
I will come with the school last. Let me start with religion. Africa embraced a lot of religions. We have so many of them.
Catholics, Anglicans.
We have the Catholics, the Anglican, the Muslims, the Adventists, the born agains. There are so many. And all these...
Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes, yes. And all these affect the way we think, affect the way we look at each other, affect the way we look at society. They have different doctrines that they teach you. And some religions actually, at some point, did not allow you to go to school. I think the latest example you can give the census. So some of the people were arrested because their religion does not allow them
to have a census.
Counted.
Oh my God, yes.
To be counted.
We saw those videos trending on TikTok.
Yes. We saw Chibuetere, what he did. Some of, I don't know whether you were born by then.
I think I was. Yes, I was, because that story really trended.
And now, look at lunch hours. As people leaving offices to go for lunch, that they run back to their offices. Some are running to church to pray. I'm not saying praying is bad. Prayer is not bad. But when will you work? When all the time is dedicated to your religion. That's the challenge. That yet the churches want money from you.
Every time you step into the church, you have to give something.
Yes, you must pay offering and tithe, which are not bad. But when will you work to get that? And again, these religions or churches, they classify their followers. You find that they highly respect those who are working. Yes. If a member of parliament works in the church, they will get a front seat. And those people do not even go for lunch hours or overnights. They don't. The poor, for lack of a better word, spend all their time waiting for miracles to happen in church. So that's how churches influence the way we think, the way we look at society.
Oh, good. I'd say, Mr. Mugera, I have walked into a church before, and that has not hit me. I've walked into a church before where, say, cultural leaders, I'll not even mention the kingdom, they sit in front. Those from central government sit at the front.
Yes.
These have masters, they have PhDs, they have everything. But then you, who is a nobody, the poor, actually pushed to the back. But you bring out a very key important aspect that these people even never attend the overnights, like they don't overly pray.
How many professors have you found in overnight? You mean they want to go to heaven? They surely do.
But when they enter church, they're sat at the front.
They do. And actually, even some pastors go to an extent of inviting celebrities to come. They look for them. And they don't care even if they don't come back at their church. But the poor person is told, pray and you will get it. Yes, it is true. Prayers are answered, but you must work. When God created the universe, the first obligation he gave to Adam and Eve was to look after the Garden of Eden.
In other words, they were working.
Yes, working. It was working. So basically, different religions have different doctrines they teach to their followers. And in the end, they end up misleading them. Others will tell you this food is not accepted. And you can't do this business. Actually, some are even limited in terms of business.
Yes, we know religions that are, like, when you open up a business, you're not supposed to be profit oriented.
Yes, they do that. Others don't even allow their kids to go to school because they're preparing them for the second coming of Jesus. So that's how far. That's how far religion has affected our way of life. Okay. And you end up losing the goal, your personal development. Yes. You end up just serving.
You give your
that money of
away.
God.
Yes.
You serve the money of God. Yet the money of God is found his purpose in life. For him, he found it, yes, but it's not helping you to find yours. So that's one of the factors that affect the way. And our parents tell us this. During their time, they could have a nearby Catholic school, but they could not go to that school because Anglicans were not allowed to study from Catholic schools. Okay. You get? And that's why even Muslims, some of them were not going to school during those days. Because they never had their own schools. Yes. That's the kind of society that they brought. And again, that's why you see a lot of extremism now. That you find that non-Muslims are being fought in some countries because of their faith. People are persecuted, are discriminated because of what they believe in. Okay. How can society develop when it's divided along religion lines? It can't.
Wow.
Yes. So that's one of the factors that affect our personal development. So
and realization of our purpose.
So you must strike a balance between serving God and your personal development. Because your life on earth is entirely incumbent on you. No one is going to feed you. Food is no longer coming from heaven like it used to drop.
Manna in the desert.
Yes, like it used to drop. So if you want your kids to go to school, you must work. You don't dedicate all the time in church. Yes, I know that it's very sensitive. And
it's a very sensitive topic.
Yes.
But those who are open-minded will definitely receive it with open arms.
And I don't want people to misunderstand that I'm against. I also go to church every Saturday.
Yes.
Yes. I even sometimes go to church on Tuesday for evening prayers. Yes. But I strike a balance between my church and my work.
True.
Yes.
You're very right.
So another factor we can talk about is family. You know, families tend to dictate what they want their children to be.
I'm telling you, this is the Uganda we live in.
Yes. A child might be very passionate or talented in football, but the mother says, I want you to be a teacher.
Because I was a teacher.
Because I was a teacher.
Because our neighbor at the village level was the best teacher in this country.
Yes. So you must be a teacher. So they tend to dictate for their children. And it is very, very unfortunate that they also keep giving the same piece of advice they were given in their days, which worked in the 20th century. They expect the same piece of advice to work in the 21st century.
There's something you said the last time we were here.
Yes.
Solving solutions using 21st.
Yes, we expect to address or to solve the 21st challenges using the same approach of the 20th century.
Which cannot be.
Which cannot work. Just like, for instance, in the 20th century, there were no telephones, mobile phones rather. There were no mobile phones. But you want to communicate to your people in the village using the same methods. You don't want to adapt to the new technology.
You want to write a letter to Kamwengi.
To Kamwengi.
Which took
you want
30 days to arrive.
You want to go there physically. That's why some old mamas I want to go and visit my son. It's long. They want to take a bus, come and be at you for like a week. So that's the kind of society that we are being brought up. That even affects the way we think. So parents should stop the culture of dictating, deciding what their children want to be. They must facilitate, not decide or dictate. So the children should
facilitating.
Yes, they should facilitate. They should guide. So why would someone who was a teacher tell someone who wants to be a footballer that he should be a teacher?
I know.
How many teachers have built schools in Uganda? I'm not against them, but that's the reality. The late Samson Chiseka, there's a story that I was told. I think I need to share it with you. That as he was driving, he found hunters. You know hunters?
Yes.
Yes, they were looking. They call it a edible rat. Almost is edible rat. That's what I grew up.
I think so.
I grew up here. So he found a group of people like a six, hunting, looking for an edible rat, and he asked them, "What was your father's or parents' job?" Say he was a hunter. Then what about your grandparents? Said he was a hunter. Then said they looked at rats themselves. How can 6 people look for
one
rat?
One edible rat.
You know, about to maybe 4 kilograms. I don't know. So you weigh if you combine 6 people on average, each is weighing like 50 kilograms. And now 6 people times 5, that's 300. 300 kilograms are looking for a 4 kilograms edible rat. You get. So it's because work is not hereditary. That should be passed on to other generations. That if you were a traditional doctor or a herbalist, your children should be herbalists. No way. That doesn't work like that. So in other words, there's no way your child can live his own life. No way. They can't find a purpose because you already dictated the purpose to them.
So, Ms. Namgero, are you trying to say that everyone has their purpose?
Yes, they do. They do. Okay. And we should let them be. We should let them be. Parents,
because I also think, on the other hand, it is more or less like killing a dream.
Yes. You kill a dream. Just like you find that somebody is not performing very well in class, and teachers insist they should repeat the classes. How many times? Like 3 times. I know people who have.
Yet there are other things they are better.
Yes, there's other things they are better. Somebody are very even good at music. They can sing very well. They are vocally good. You're wasting their time in school, studying things that will not even help them because you are a conservative parent who doesn't want your children to dwell with what you decided. Last year on that, I have. There's a person who I'm mentoring. He's studying at a certain school here in Kampala. He's very good at arts. And actually he's doing arts, but they want her to be a doctor.
Oh, Lord.
The parent says, we want you to be a doctor because they saw a doctor who is successful in life and they feel like everyone knows to be successful, you must be a doctor. So that's about families. Families put too much pressure on the children, on everyone. They want you to live by their standards. So, and when you're done with the school, go and marry. They force you to marry. Some families are still like that. And after mine, they want you to give it. They even decide the number of kids you're supposed to give to.
I know, right? In this economy.
How can, because you married at 13 years and
you got 20 children.
You 20 children from like 4 concubines. You want your child to do the same, to live a miserable kind of life.
Just like you lived.
Just like you did. Just to satisfy your ego as a parent.
When it's actually not working out in these hard economic times.
Even if it was working out, let people, let them decide what's good for them. Because what works in the US may not necessarily work in Uganda.
True.
When it comes to politics, they say you can't export American democracy. Africa can solve its own problems. Why don't you also do the same when it comes to your children?
Ms. Namgero, I would really have loved to ask this particular question after you have outlined for us all of these factors that, affect the push, the search for life's purpose. But then, I don't know, it might run away from my head. I wanted to pick your mind. Now, what do we do for such parents? What do we do for such individuals? Do you, as astute strategists, have a product that could answer or fill this particular gap?
Yes, we do. We call it coaching and mentorship. Coaching and mentorship is designed to help children identify their personal and professional goals, and also identify their strengths and weakness. And we support them to develop their strengths so that they can realize their dreams. So it's like a 6 long mentorship session that is packed with different modules or sessions that builds the child in all aspects.
Okay.
Basically, we provide them with the knowledge, skills they cannot find in a classroom or from their homes. Because children, so some parents say they can act as coaches to their own children, but still you're a parent. And the child will always see you as a parent, not as a coach. The same as with teachers. Teachers come to be coaches.
There's always that soft spot for a child.
Even the environment the child is in is used to the routine, to the parenthood you give, not the coach. And this is done by professional coaches. People spend time in school to study to be coaches, life coaches. So it's not something that just happens. Like pastors wake up and say, now I'm a pastor. So this is what we do. It's coaching and mentorship, that we sit down with the child one-on-one or as a group, and we share. They open up to us. It's very easy for them to open to us than they can to their parents. So through those coaching sessions, we develop bit by bit each and every skill. We find what you're passionate about, what your skills are, what your abilities are, what your weaknesses are. Then we try to help you work on your weaknesses. Yes.
Wow. That's quite amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this insightful discussion, first things first. Make sure that you subscribe so that these pop-up videos keep coming your way, so that your algorithm, is really lined up to what Astute Strategists is bringing on board. After subscribing to our YouTube channel, go straight, of course, ahead and like, this particular video, because everyone else that follows you will definitely have a chance to see it. Leave us a comment. What experience have you had? Has your parent, for example, dictated what it is you're supposed, to do in terms of career? How did that make you feel? Leave us a comment, because it is from that feedback that you give us that will help us even craft more insightful discussions for you. But also don't forget that you can share this particular link with your entire circle. You do not want to be at the top alone, because if you're at the top alone, it's so back-breaking. Everyone else needs to tap into the knowledge that Astute Strategist right here is trying to share. Mr. Mgera,
yes,
let's continue with this particular discussion on the third factor that influences.
Yeah, the third factor is society. Society sets norms and traditions, how people should live. So if you're from a particular region, you have to live by that standard. I'm a Muganda myself, so I use my example.
Sure.
That to us, we are very submissive. We are very obedient, very respectful. That's how we are brought up. That you should respect elders, and that's how it should be. Nothing less, nothing more. So basically, however, that's not negative on me. It's not. However, there are some cultures whereby they don't allow children to go to school. Some cultures are saying you must, now like when you go to Eastern Uganda, the genital mutilation stuff they do over there. Some believe in early marriage. They force their children to marry at an early age. Those are the kind of society that we live in. But again, when you go beyond that, we have a trend in Uganda that I want to talk about. Is the one of events. Every Friday, today is a Friday. No, it is Thursday.
Today is
Thursday. Tomorrow, you go to Centenary Park. You'll find groups of people gathered, seated somewhere, and even in other places. And those groups are discussing spending money, which they don't have. What do I mean with that? Baby showers, bridal showers, party after party.
The table you're shaking has expensive drinks.
I know that, but it is us who are supposed to tell it as it is. If we don't say it out, people will not understand this. Trust me, you always make meetings to spend money, not to invest.
Actually, you're going very far. This particular week, this particular weekend is action-packed. We have over 3 I'll call them national events. I'll not mention the names.
Yes.
But these are 3-day events, and I know you have gone for some of those. So one of those is happening in Ginger. We have trips in the entire country. So yeah, the events are really.
Because society has put too much pressure on people. They will find that Olivia has made a beautiful wedding of about 50 million or 60 million. Then another person will say, I want to do the same thing.
You're actually taking me back to Mr. Mugirwa's introduction here.
Okay.
I'm told some people were discouraged. They were like, that's great.
Okay.
Shall we?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, but trust me, people are spending a lot of time and money in meetings to fundraise for weddings, to fundraise for an anniversary. We should borrow some culture from developed countries. Those guys have a lot of money, but they don't throw parties like we do. They don't.
Okay.
So you find that instead of investing money into something, you are looking for money to spend it on people so that they can appreciate you. You can imagine. You want to be appreciated.
Such a fit in.
Why don't we also adopt a culture of fundraising or raising resources for someone to start a business?
Yes. Actually, what you're talking about has really been every single time graduation comes around, parents are always urged to instead get that money that they want to use for a graduation party, red carpet, bringing an artist to sing at a graduation party. They're always advised to actually give that money to their children because they're starting a new life. They're job seekers. Unfortunately, many of them are job seekers. And for some reason, I feel there's truth to it.
Yes.
There's reality. There's hard reality to it because what would it benefit me to have let's even say as basic as 5 million, a 5 million shilling graduation party, and yet tomorrow I'm going to come and sit home unemployed. Yet with 5 million shillings, I could actually
open a society. That is the society we live in. It is spending. We just spend. We don't save. We hardly invest. We just spend. Society. So, because I always ask myself, if I want to start a business, can I invite the same people who are contributing for my wedding to contribute money so that I start a business?
No, you'll not see that.
You won't see that.
You'll not see that because they want enjoyment.
So according to you, do you think that's a good culture?
No, it is not a good culture. I pity you at Astute Strategy because you really have a very big job to do. You really have a very big job to do.
I'm not against people being happy. I'm not against people throwing parties as long as they can afford them. What I'm against is giving people hard time to give you money and also to dedicate their time. You see, you have to put in time and also put in your money. Somebody wants you in a meeting.
By 5.
By 5. As if you're going to get some allowance in that meeting. So, and remember, time is also a very big treasure. So you want my money, sometimes you want my time. At least ask for one of the two. But still,
very expensive.
But still, I would highly recommend that you don't ask any of the two. So that you only ask for my contribution towards your business. Share with me your business idea. Pitch something that I feel like it can work. Then let's discuss business. Than being angry with me that I didn't contribute on your function.
Yes.
After so what happens after the event? So the wedding is done. What comes next? Still, you need me to support you. You may be giving you a job or support the business and stuff. So I'm seeing that society affects the way we live, affects the way we interact, affects the way we think about our goals.
True.
People grow up seeing mechanics. And they want their children to be mechanics because that's the society. That's what society gives. That's why you find that people living in Kololo have higher chances. Okay, not just Kololo. People who live in high-end areas.
I mean, it's the contemporary example that we have, so you're only right.
They have higher chances of making it in life. than those living in the deep villages.
Because the society in which they live, you're seeing your neighbor has achieved something,
Yes.
you're pushed to also
Yes.
achieve it.
Yes.
So, Miss Amgara, right there, before you proceed to the other factor, that would contribute or, that determines personal development or finding purpose in life, while someone is, going through this coaching that you provide at Astute Strategists, is there kind of like a mindset, I don't know, maybe course you need, or do you interest people with a mindset change kind of thing?
Yes, like what I didn't make clear is that our coaching is tailored to suit the needs of every audience.
Okay.
So this is what we call professional coaching. There's also life coaching. So life coaching is majorly for those who want to change the way they live, the way they think, the way they do their work, careers and stuff. That's life coaching. And we have also different modules for every age bracket. So what we offer to teenagers is not what we offer to those in their 20s or 30s. Depends. And again, we also offer business coaching that we can sit with you and discuss so that you re-strategize or create a new way of the way you look at your business. So in coaching, we majorly work with the mind, actually, because it is what affects everything. So to be precise to your question, yes, we have mindset change, and it's what we focus more. 70% of our package is on mindset change.
Okay.
If we don't change the way we see things or the way we think, then you can't change anything. Yes, just like leaders. If a person has failed to change himself, there's no way you can change the country.
You cannot give
what you don't have. Yes. There's no way you can do that.
Mr. Mgera,
yes.
We are concluding on the factors that affect or that would help us find our purpose in life.
Yes.
You talked of work, you talked of friends.
Yes, family. Then you also talked about society.
No, you've not talked about work. But when you
there's
in more detail,
work, but because in the interest of time, there's work and friends. But those I won't talk about them today. Lastly, I want to talk about school.
Okay.
Yes, school is one of the biggest factor that has affected Ugandans, Africans so badly. By the way, many people think school or education was brought thinking that it will change society. Because when we had poverty, people thought when we have education, people will live a better life. Unemployment will go down. Diseases will reduce. And so many. To their disappointment, we are having the worst youth unemployment Uganda has ever had. Even with so many universities and higher institutions of learning, pandemics are not going anywhere. They're just on increase. Poverty levels are also on increase.
So should we now question what exactly is the content that we learn?
So the system that we are having no longer suits the needs of the 21st century. Those who designed the educational system for Uganda had their own interests. They wanted workers. They wanted loyal workers. By the way, not just even workers, but loyal workers.
You actually remind my dad has had one job. Okay, let me say 2 jobs, but it's still the same job because I was still doing the same thing. He has had one. He was very loyal. I don't know if your parents were, but my dad was very, very loyal at his workplace. I don't remember him even ever being faulted in anything. From the time he was, I think in his Form 4 and then Form 6 vacation, he's good at physics, he's good at this, and then he's asked, what do you want to do? He's like, electrical engineering. He told us he was gotten from the football pitch, like, your admission has been, worked on.
Yes.
And then while he's at school, because there's very few engineers, we had electrical engineers. So while he had applied to go, elsewhere, to further his education, he was amongst the few that were, gotten. He enters UEB, Of course, you know, he goes, does his school, and then comes back. So he enters UEB, and from that time to the time he retired,
Yes.
he had one job. So when you're talking of loyalty, I
Yes.
completely
So
understand.
that's what they intended to
Wow.
do.
And they got it.
They got it. But unfortunately, we are still using the same system. How many years after that?
Oh Lord, I don't even know. My dad is
Over
70
a century.
something.
Over a century.
True.
We are still using. What advice did they give you when they wanted to get to school? What did they promise you that when you finish school, what will you get?
I would have a big job. I'd get a lot of money. I'd be rich.
Did you know that the same piece of advice that was given to your parents and to your grandparents? Go to
Yes.
school, study hard, get a good grades, you will get a good job.
But Tim, why is it that the people that have less education are even like richer than us?
Yes, the problem is the system programs students.
The school system programs us.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. And it prepares them for a world that doesn't exist. Yes,
What do you mean?
school doesn't prepare children for a world that exists, for the real world. No. You just told me, they promise that when you finish school, you'll get a job.
Okay.
Did you get that?
I didn't get it immediately.
Is that a real world?
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not a real world. That's what I'm talking about. That when you are in school, there's a way they portray life after school to be very smooth, to be very easy, that you'll make it through. Remember some of the school mottos in a school? Education is guaranteed wealth. Education is the key to success. But can you tell that to people in Chikubo? Can you tell them that?
Oh, they'll beat you up before you finish that statement.
Yes.
Because they're saying you're making noise for us and we're trying to make some money.
So that's what
Please,
what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So it prepares
Wow.
you for the world that doesn't exist. It's not a real world.
Wow.
So that's how people are programmed. And again, Uganda is producing a lot of unskilled graduates.
We have the theory.
And the percentage must be about 90%. 90% of the graduates that leave school are not skilled.
We have the theory, but we do not have the skill.
We don't. You have the papers. Actually, education is about getting papers. And what now universities are turning into those who are desirable. But what used to be course units are now courses, independent courses. You find that one course has been divided into 4 courses.
Okay.
Yes. Let me just give an example. We have what we call bachelors of commerce. We have BBA, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Should I continue? So you can just look at those 2.
You literally clash in every course unit.
And you ask them,
What
where
is the deal?
are you going to be working? In a bank, in this and this. But when they go into the bank, they can't even work. They need further training. So why would
You
you
need to
waste-
come back to
why-
astute strategists and train you so that you...
Yes. So that's the thing. So I'm not against education. Education is very good, by the way. Education is very good, but I'm against the system and the methods they are using to teach people. Now I hear there is a new curriculum. You heard about that?
Yes, we
But
are
that's-
under the new
But
curriculum.
that's like getting fresh wine and put it in an old
An
bottle.
old barrel.
The same thing. The teachers went through the other system. They have not got further training. You expect them to implement a new curriculum that they don't even understand. Themselves, they need to be educated first before they can implement the new curriculum.
So, Mr. Mugero, I want to understand, where do you, with that status quo that you have just given, where does astute strategists come in to solve this impasse?
Yes, and before I even answer that, I want to address something in line with the school. You find that here, somebody starts school at the age of 3. You can imagine. 3.
Yes.
3 years. You find that somebody who is 7 years wakes up very early in the morning to go to school and spends the whole day at school studying what? Cramming stuff. You see? And then we have so many kids in boarding schools, all in the name of passing exams. We go to developed countries, they study half day.
I know.
And they are so advanced in technology. Those of us who are studying full time, morning to evening in boarding schools, we can't even manufacture a soft pin.
Mr. Mugara, I think you've even taken it very far. Let's just talk about expression, like the skill you're talking about, some of the life skills you want to give someone right here at Astute Strategists. A child is at school 24/7, but they can barely introduce themselves to an audience,
They can't.
to even an individual.
That's the system we are proud of. Parents are taking children to school for the wrong reasons. And actually, even teachers don't tell the student the right reasons. The problem with Uganda is that we are excited when somebody passes. At P7, you've got 4 distinctions. You are first division. You appear on the front page.
The newspaper.
Where have you seen that in other countries? Tell me, where have you seen that? That whenever there is examinations, the country celebrates that has performed very well, they should be put on the front page. So we shouldn't take kids to school to pass exams, but to acquire knowledge and skills in real life. What is the use of getting Division 1 in P7, the same with Senior 4, Senior 6, and you end up with no job? Because you are not skilled. That's where the problem is. Because you're not skilled. So how does Astute address this gap?
Yes, how do you come in?
So these are the kind of mentorship that we offer to fresh graduates, junior employees, and even those who want to advance in some skills. So it's a kind of training that is tailored to help the mentee develop specialized or professional skills of doing their jobs. So we help you to develop the ability to do your job efficiently and effectively.
Okay.
So skills are always acquired. So we are in a dynamic world. We cannot say that how things used to be the 5 years back are going to be the same. You must transform. You must move.
Adapt to the trend.
Yes, and that's what we do.
Wow.
At Astute, because we receive many graduates, like you just said, who can't even express themselves.
I know.
And on that, we also have what we call the public speaking. We do training so that you can build your confidence.
Yes, we
build the confidence in you so that you can pitch that idea, business idea, to a potential investor, so that you can make an address. When they invite you for a job interview, you can freely express yourself.
Someone has studied their BBA. They want to work in the bank, just like you said.
Yes.
They're put in the sales department and they can hardly sell a bank product to someone because they cannot express themselves.
Yes. So we train such people and make them productive.
Okay.
For us, we always work with the mind. The mind is what is hindering these people to perform, the way they think. Because you must be yearning to make a difference. You must have that mindset that if I get a job, I must leave a legacy. I must do something in addition to what I was told to do. You must be self-driven. People are very fast to write those key skills, abilities on their CV. Self-driven, teamwork, and so on. When in actual sense, they don't have that. Okay. They need help to develop that.
Mr. Mugara, you have talked a lot about school, and we know for sure in Uganda's context, it's a typical example that cannot even be better explained. You just have to come to Uganda and see what exactly you're talking about.
Yes.
But we want to also get to understand. Now that you've brought it out, I've gotten to realize that, you know what, I think I have a few gaps here and there. What are some of the things I need to do to find my purpose? After looking at everything that we have talked about. So now what are the steps? What are the things I need to do to make sure that I get there?
So some of the things that you need to do, first of all, is to go through some of the programs that we do.
True.
Not necessarily us alone, but it's a step. Everyone deserves a mentor or a coach. The reason why whites are better organized than us is because they undergo a lot of training to get where they are. So basically, you must look out for a certified or a professional coach,
Okay.
so that they can guide you in your life. That's the first step. You must look for that person so that you get those services that can help you improve yourself.
Okay.
But again, you must identify your passion.
Yeah.
Passion is very important. You must identify your passion. You must be able to know your skills. Then you must also be able to know your talent. Many people are in wrong jobs because they want survival, but when in actual sense they're not helping the company grow, and even themselves when they're not growing. So those three factors are very important. Passion, and again another factor, which is the last one, which I always emphasize, is time management.
Good.
You see, Africans or Ugandans live like we have 40 hours a day. We don't care about time. We don't. But time is a resource that you can never recover. When you don't use it rightly, yes. That's why when people reach up in the 40s, 50s, they feel, I wish I knew this when I was 20. But now we are answering that. As the strategist is helping you know it at the right time. You don't have to regret anymore that I wish I knew this when I was this. We are doing that now. Because before we didn't have companies doing like we do. The services we offer, you can barely find them in many companies in Uganda unless you go out of Uganda, the developed countries. So come to us, strategists, and we help you know what you're supposed to do at the right age, so that you don't lose on your time. Yes.
Mr. Mugero, I was doing, some little reading. It's no wonder I was referring, to some of these notes. And some of the things that you'd shared earlier are in terms of, finding the purpose. And I wanted you to really expound more on them, are the consistency with inner goodness and ethical principles, but also assessing available opportunities and resources. You have definitely touched on the other two, looking into one's own heart and assessing the unique gifts, strength, and skills. But now those other two, consistency and assessing the available opportunities.
I'll start with the last one, assessing the available opportunities.
Yes.
In Uganda or in Africa, we have a tendency. We always take whatever is put on the plate. We never analyze whether the opportunity is within our capability or interests. So whatever opportunity comes your way, you must first assess. Is it the right one for me? And nachisobola. And again, you must plan very well. Is it in line with my goals? Because remember, you have a purpose as a person that you want to live. And the company or the organization that you're working for has also its own purpose. So if the opportunity comes, is it consistent with your values, with your dreams? That is why you find that many people are unhappy in their workplaces. It's because they never analyze. They just took the job as it came. So it is important to always analyze the opportunities that some are not even opportunities. Some are challenges. But you are, because it can become a fledged and you think it's an opportunity. However, in line with that, some challenges also are opportunities. And the people have made it in life. These are people who can turn challenges into opportunities. I like Manja sang that song and said, nti omuntu aliba omwavu omukisa agulabamu obuzibu naye anaafuna obuzibu abulabamu omukisa. So you should always look for an opportunity in a challenge. Yes. You should always do that.
And
the consistency, yes. Like I always use it that Ugandans or Africans are never consistent. We want to be here, we want to be there. It's like when you're adolescents, we never grow. In psychology, social psychology, they call it that is adolescence versus real confusion. That you fight with the age and the identity. What do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. Tomorrow you see chameleon man and say, I'm going to be a musician. Another day you see maybe a dancer and say, I want to be like this. So you don't know what you want to be. So we're not consistent with what we always do. We like copying stuff. You see that Olivier is doing very well in media and you are a social worker. You say, let me go and study journalism. Then you see that tomorrow somebody is an accountant and is landing very big contracts from Ministry of Finance. Today I'm going to be that. So we are not consistent. So we must always stick and give time, by the way, work. We twagala byamangu. We like quick results, which is why sometimes we fail or we misfire.
But Mr. Mugera, before we proceed to the elements, of a purposeful life,
Yes.
I want to pick your mind right there where you have stopped.
Yes.
Or paused. What if someone is multi-talented? Or do you really see it as jumping from one thing to another?
No.
We see sometimes.
Actually, I will answer that again with there's a difference between being fast and moving hurriedly. Waliwo enjawulo wakati w'okupapa n'okwanguwa. That's how I can answer that. Yes. So the thing is, being consistent doesn't mean that you cannot multitask. There are people who are skilled in that. And we've seen many business people are versatile. Now, like I always give an example of Mandela, the one of CJ. He's in tires, he's in oil and stuff.
Supermarkets.
Yes. So that.
But everything is actually performing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So even in working, you can be multi-skilled by that. You may find that somebody is very good with the software, and sometimes is very good with hardware in IT.
It's actually it's been very hard to find that here because, just like we used to go to school and you find sciences,
Yes.
sciences, and they're very, very bad at most of these things that, are outdoor, like say sport, singing, dancing. But yet, I have seen people who have been chanced to take on the other curriculum, the Cambridge curriculum, and you find someone is pursuing their career, say in medicine, but yet they're a very good musician, and you're like, but how does this play out?
Yes.
A good musician. Someone tells you they are a surgeon, but they have to perform at a band that is singing in the evening, and you're like, okay,
Yes.
how does this happen? Mr. Mugera, we are definitely coming to the close of this discussion, and let me hope our viewers out there are definitely picking, a few things here and there to make sure that they figure out what their life's purpose is. And just like I said earlier, Astute Strategist is very, very present on all social media platforms, be it Instagram, be it Twitter, be it Facebook. We are also on TikTok. Astute Strategists is the name. Go there and catch up on a few videos that have already been uploaded. Throw a comment in there. Tell us, share with us your experience, because at the end of the day, this feedback will inform future discussions that we do have. But also, don't forget to follow Astute Strategists on all the social media platforms. On YouTube, right here, make sure that you get to share this particular link to everyone else that you think needs the guidance that we are trying to put out right here, or that our chief consultant is trying to put out there. We are definitely coming to the close of this particular discussion, but what are some of those elements, Mr. Mugera, that you look at and you're like, you know what, I think this ninja is living a fulfilled life?
Okay, yeah, some of the elements that, but I can't say these are the final elements. You may find that some people possess different elements.
True.
But at Astute, we believe that you need to understand who you are. So many people might ask a question, don't I know who I am? Yes, it is possible. However, you might need somebody else to help you tell who you are. Because there's what we call self-discovery. You must discover yourself. What am I good at? And keep doing it over time. Like I said earlier, people are doing wrong, performing wrong jobs because they don't know what they are good at. I know somebody who is very vocally good, who is a good musician, but doesn't sing. He's in other fields. So it is important to know who you are and why are you doing it? Why are you doing something? Because you must have reasons why you are at a certain company, why you are at a different organization, and why you started a business. You must know the reasons. I know many people, like I always say in Uganda, we begin businesses to make money. We apply for a job to make money. So becomes difficult for you to pursue your dream without understanding the reasons, the motivation behind what you're doing. Again, you need to understand who are you doing it for.
True.
Who are you doing it for? Because it is important to give back to society. It's important to also touch somebody's life. It's important to inspire someone. Now, like Mahatma Gandhi said, that live like you're going to die tomorrow, and learn like
you are going to live forever.
What does that mean? It means that give all. If you are doing something, give all. So that I live like you don't have another chance to live. So that because somebody who's at a deathbed or who knows that is going to die is very kind. He possesses the best traits in life.
I know.
He possesses all the qualities in life. And again, when it comes to learning, do not stop learning.
True.
Learn like you will live forever. We have a tendency, because by the majority of blacks are mentally lazy. We never like a reading. Yes, unfortunately I have to say it. Mentally lazy. We don't like a reading, which is why they say that if you want to read something from a black man,
put it in a book.
They won't read. You can just use an example. You send someone a link and says, it's good. You ask the person what was there. They don't know. They even complain it's too long. But then what about those who read that, who watch that? They can watch a movie for 2 hours, but they can't read something for 5 minutes that's going to improve their lives. Wow. That's the kind of mentality or mindset that we have. So you must learn like you will live forever, because learning does not stop. Okay. Yes, but lastly, in this, it's about what do you want to be remembered? In whatever you do, you must do it knowing that there are people who are coming after you. What do you want to be remembered for? How do you want to be remembered?
I think that's the best way of defining purpose.
Yes. Your children, how will they remember you? As a drunkard parent? As a thief? As a person who contributes to society? As a freedom fighter? As a philanthropist? As a pastor? As a fake person? So if you answer that question, then you are finding purpose for your life. So,
Mr. Mkara, yes. Before I let you go, there's 3 things that have been highlighted when it comes to purpose.
Yes.
You know, the fundamental 3 things: talent, skill, and passion.
And the passion.
In a nutshell, how do these intertwine together to make sure that the element of purpose is a complete one?
Yeah, so those 3 actually help you need to reflect on your life and ask yourself a very big question. Of the 3, which one do I have? Okay. Is it passion? Is it skill? Is it talent? Because you need one of them at least to make it in life. There is no shortcut to that. What is a skill? The ability to do something. For you to make it in life, you must possess a skill that can help you do a certain job. Then talent. Talent is born. It's born. True. Just like a runner, athletes, musicians and stuff. So those ones are gifted.
Just need a few
those ones are gifted by nature. So you must say, if I don't have a skill, possess a talent.
Yes.
If you don't have a talent, develop passion. Passion is the strong love connection you have towards something that you want to change somebody, or you want to solve a certain problem. So if you don't have a skill, look for a passion. If you don't have a passion, get a talent. If you have the 3, sky is no longer a limit.
I know, right?
People are visiting the Mars. So basically, those are the 3 things that you must ask yourself if you have any of the 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that from the time we began this particular discussion, you have picked 1, 2, or at least 3 things from this particular discussion. We have gone away from the theory that, we learned in school, and we're now going practical into skillful and meaningful living. You might have all the books, but when you still don't have purpose that is driving you, that is giving you that direction to live a satisfactory life, the answer is 1. If you're still struggling, look out on all your social media platforms for astute strategists, and the answer will lie in there. This is not the only discussion we've had. A couple of other discussions have been already uploaded on all our social media platforms, be it Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Numbers are scrolling right there on your screen, and they're waiting for you to actually reach out to astute strategists so that they give you that next link, that next leap to success in life. Olivia Nakalembe is my name, and my guest for the day has been Mr. Mugerwa Timothy, and he is the chief consultant right here at Astute Strategists. Let's call it a wrap for now, and I wish you a blessed week. Bye.